Hello everyone, welcome to the IndieGeekGuy channel, and today we're looking at Shang Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, the new movie from the MCU. Well, I say new, it's new-ish, it's been out a little while, but I finally get to watch it. So if I'm being honest, I'm going into this movie and the rest of the MCU movies with this sort of two-mindset thing going on. I'm not the first person to say this. Endgame was like a really nice climax cap to the 10 years that we spent with those movies, and with a solid end point, right? And I am interested in how the MCU is going to sort of revitalize itself, sort of come back and say, hey, stick with us, we've got another whole 10-year plan moving forward. And I'm just interested to see how they're going to pull that off. I've enjoyed the TV shows that they've been putting out so far. There's a reaction to Loki on this very channel, if you're interested in that. But I am very interested to see how it's going to handle bringing in new characters, what their roles in the bigger picture are going to be moving forwards, and indeed what the bigger story is going to be moving forwards. Obviously, the whole multiverse stuff is already being seeded. We've got Spider-Man on the horizon, which I am looking forward to, but Spider-Man has the advantage of, one, being Spider-Man, but also already pre-existing in the MCU. He is a character who is already established, and as such, I'm already invested in that version of Spider-Man in this universe, where he's going to be going and the people he interacts with and all that stuff. Bringing in new characters at this point, you know, it's both exciting, but also, how's this going to work sort of deal, right? I don't mean to sound like I'm being pessimistic about it, or like, oh god, is this really going to work? I'm not. That's not the sort of thing in my head. It's just, I'm just wondering if the MCU is going to break its mold at all, sort of shake itself up a little bit to keep it feeling fresh. That's the thing I'm most interested by with these new movies that are coming out. Are what are they going to do to feel fresh, to feel like these next batch of movies, this next 10 years is going to be as interesting and as fun to watch as it was with the previous 10 years of movies. What are they going to bring this time around? Because, you know, you have to up it, you have to do something that's new and interesting and fun. And as good as the TV shows have been, you know, it's about the movies at the end of the day. The movies are the tentpoles of this franchise, of this universe, so I'm interested to see what they're bringing. On the other hand, I am actually very excited to meet new characters, in terms of just meeting a new character. Like, that's a good, fun thing to do, a new origin story to get into, and what that's going to be, how it's going to fit into the universe. All of that stuff is fun and exciting, and it's, as I say, interesting to see how it's going to fit into the bigger picture. Especially in a case like this, where I have no knowledge of this character. I don't know who they are in the comic books. I don't know who they are in relation to other characters that I do know. And the last time that happened was Guardians of the Galaxy, which is one of my favourite movies in this entire thing. And, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy has sort of excelled itself above and beyond, you know, a good Marvel movie. It's just a solid movie in of itself. So if you're expecting me to have any kind of knowledge about this character and his world and where he comes from, I have nothing. I'm not knowledgeable about this, and it's a completely new adventure for me, and that's fun. That's going to be an interesting watch for me, and to discover all this new stuff. The only thing I do kind of know about this movie is that it has something to do with the Mandarin, which I have very, very, very limited knowledge about. I don't really know who the Mandarin is in any detail. I just kind of know the name, and I know traditionally they have something to do with Iron Man, but I doubt that's going to be the case here. But we'll see. But that's all I really know, and it's exciting, as I say, to jump into something completely fresh, completely new, and hopefully the MCU movie formula follows that suit. It does something new, does something different, and it is exciting at the same time. At the very least, I'm expecting some really good action sequences from this movie, but let's find out. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Before we do, though, if you are new here, please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video, and also hitting the like button if you do. Also, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this movie, what you think about the MCU moving forward. Are you excited about the next 10 years? Do you want them to change things up a little bit? All that stuff, let me know down below. But for right now, let's jump into Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. What's he going to do about this particular problem of arrows? Oh, this might solve the problem of the arrows. Damn. It's like Lord of the Rings. Literally. Didn't even realise what I said until I said it there. I don't think he needs you guys. I don't think he needs the army. I think he's he's perfectly capable of doing it on his own. That ain't good. Ah, he got out. He just left. Bye, guys. I'm sure they're fine. They'll walk it off. It's no problem. Oh, she's doing all these magic moves and she has no rings. I think she's got your number, pal. I love how heavy all of his moves feel and all of her moves feel just like, like natural, despite how unnatural they actually are. Oh, hello. He likes what he sees. Okay, they're like straight up ballroom dancing now. That's what's happening here. It's cool though, it looks nice. I wonder, does he have like any powers without the rings? I'm imagining not. Like, I'm imagining they are the source of his power, right? Damn. You cool off, dude. Okay, you've clearly, you know, got a little too excited. You just need to chill out. The power of a dragon. Are we gonna meet this dragon? Okay, we've been told about a magic dragon and now a green stone. Both of these things are going to come into this somehow, because why wouldn't they?
I'm driving.
No, you're not. Katy! Get out.
You get in.
Look, if anything happens to this thing, we're gonna be jobless.
Please, get in. I'll go slow.
Okay, we're just stealing the car. We're just stealing the car. That's what's happening here. Okay, we've got our mystery, I suppose. It's like, how did guy who is like the son of magic parents and he's ended up a valet? How's that happened?
Right before he's about to throw the first punch, Katy comes out of nowhere, steps right between us, and starts screaming the lyrics to Hotel California.
It's the art of confusion. Works great on stupid people. And then I pulled him into the parking lot.
At which point she revealed
Solid plan.
We're now living in a world where at any moment half the population can just disappear.
Yeah, that would change your perspective. Remember when everyone turned to dust and then suddenly came back again? Anyone?
Look at that girl. She's writing a research paper on a bus.
So?
That is exactly the daughter my mom wishes came out of her vagina.
I'm sorry about her.
You have the wrong guy. Does he look like he can fight? Come on, bro.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh! Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's cool. It's cool.
I actually did take a little bit of martial arts as a youth, so I'm gonna try and grade this fight as we're going.
Oof. Nice. Oh, and the flick, you gotta have that. Oh, don't, no!
Sorry.
No, come on now. He was working hard on that.
Every time I've tried to drive a bus, I get yelled at.
Maybe you should be a little bit more panicked. Just a little bit more panicked about what's going on. That's the signal. That's the signal. Go, 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 go. It worked. The plan worked. Who got it? Who got it? Did I just completely miss someone grabbing the pendant?
Those guys are going after my sister next. I have to get to her first.
I get there are things you never wanted to talk about, and I never wanted to push. But a guy with a freaking machete for an arm just chopped our bus in half, Shaun.
Yeah, that would bring up some questions. That would bring up a lot of questions.
Those guys back there were sent by my dad.
What?
Uh-huh. had a falling out, did we? That would explain why he's here and valeting cars.
After my mom died, my dad started my training.
Oh god, I'm sure this was a fun growing up, wasn't it? But he got to learn how to be badass, so...
To sundown, I was taught every...
Did she want to learn but was told she wasn't allowed? Is that where this is going?
By the time I was 14, I could barely remember what life was like before she died.
I was waiting for him to be like, finish him! Let's kill him right here!
If he asked me to burn the world down, I would have asked him.
Beef or vegetarian?
Wow, okay. That was awkward.
Now we only have beef.
Beef. Because that's all you have, right?
Okay, you'll have the beef.
Yes.
And
And the beef.
2 beefs.
Wow, okay. That was a thing that just happened.
Did you go through with it?
I knew that I couldn't go back to him, so I just... ran.
That explains that then. Trained killer. Couldn't go through with his mission that he got sent on. Ran away. Boom. Done.
You changed your name from Shang to Shaun?
Yeah, I don't...
I wonder,
Yeah.
I wonder how your father found
Okay,
you.
I was-
She brings up a good point. That is a good point. So we know what happened to him. What happened to the sister? I mean, presumably she ran away as well. But it seemed like she was training to fight in secret. So I am kind of wondering what the end game goal is for his dad. Like, why has he set up this organization? Is it literally just to control everything? Or is there something else happening?
You're gonna be fighting up there.
Oh my god, it's Wong and Abomination!
That hurt, Emil.
Well done, Wong. Oh, I love the magic. I love the sorcerers. If there's one thing I'm excited for in the MCU, it's more Doctor Strange stuff.
Come on. You got this.
You got this.
Don't be nervous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take your shirt off.
Wow, you could have said that maybe slightly less like he was being a bit creepy.
San Francisco, USA! It's Busboy!
Busboy? Wow, that's really gonna inspire confidence. Okay. Brother versus sister? I do like the kind of slick camera work to go along with the fight. That's fun. That ain't so fun. That's painful. That'd be painful. Looks like they left on bad terms. AKA leaving her with their crazy dad who clearly went down a tunnel after the mum died. Oof! KO!
They took my pendant. They're gonna come for yours next.
What do the pendants do, huh? Combine them with the rings?
You know what he
Super weapon?
I didn't send you this.
Uh-oh. That bad. It's a trap! It's a trap! Is this your escape plan? Just jump out the window? Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that noise. Yeah, I absolutely not spinning around on those poles. He knows what he's doing though, so he's... Oh my god!
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
Nice try. Nice try. But she's fallen. She's fallen. Okay. I thought the movie for a second there. I thought the movie was truly going to surprise me.
What does he want with the pendant?
Wow. Wow. We could have done with some answers there, but no. We just yoink. Man, he made that look really easy. All those other guys were terrible compared to him. Oh man, this is cool. This is like a cool, like, Mortal Kombat setting. Oof. Don't do revenge. Don't do it. Oh, he was gonna give in to revenge.
Let's go home.
Doesn't look like you got much of a choice. There's been some good action in the movie so far, but that was probably my favourite fight so far. Just them in that sort of window. It was just letting the performers do their thing without all the glitz and glam all over the place. So, not to say the other action sequences have been bad. They've all been pretty fun, but there has been some really distracting CG.
Now it's time for you to take your place by my side.
It's not gonna happen.
Awkward.
Some years ago, a terrorist from America needed a boogeyman to bring your country to its knees. He appropriated the 10 rings, my 10 rings, but because he didn't know my actual name, he invented a new one, the Mandarin. He gave his figurehead the name of a chicken dish. And it worked. America was
Oh, God.
She gave up everything so we could be together. And so did I. I finally found something worth growing old for. And when she died, I was lost for many years. I was so desperate to connect with your mother. I threw myself back into the studies of her village. There's a gate deep in the mountains. Your mother is waiting for us there.
Uh-huh.
I know this is a lot.
Okay.
She spoke to me. It was like she was standing in this room. She told me she needs my help. She wants us to find her and bring her home so we can be a family again.
I don't know if he's being master manipulator here, or if he's just going a bit nutsy, crazy with the depression and desperation.
To get through, you need to know the route and the exact time it opens.
So we're going on an adventure, boys.
And what happens if they don't let you open the gate?
We'll burn the village to the ground.
Oh, well, that's a perfectly measured response to the situation.
I mean, do you have any idea how insane this is?
Hey!
Okay, well, they tried.
You're going toward that noise?
Sounds like the guy from Labyrinth. The big hairy thing from Labyrinth. That's what it sounds like.
My deed, Destin.
Oh my god. He's actually in it. He took him prisoner.
What year is it? Some time ago, I was offered the role of a terrorist. The producer told me he worked for the BBC. But, ironic twist, it turns out he in fact was a terrorist. And I wasn't playing a character at all, but what I now recognize. The producer got blown up by Iron Man, and I served time in federal prison, which turned out to be the best thing for me. I got clean. I rediscovered my passion.
What a story arc. What?
Now we really just need to find a way to...
What the hell?
What on earth is that? What
You can see
on...
Morris.
Morris?
Oh, Morris! I can see you. You're real. All this time I thought I was hallucinating him. Oh, this is such crap news.
He wants you to take him home.
A path that only opens once a year.
I think this thing will know the path. It comes from there.
Dad has a tunnel system under the whole compound. That's how I escaped last time. This will take us straight to the garage.
Convenient.
You should speed up.
What? Why?
Katy, go, go, go!
Yeah, the Ent bamboo is probably a good incentive to go fast.
It's all about staying in the pocket.
What pocket?
We're in it now.
What happens if we don't stay in the pocket?
The forest eats us.
Eat!
Imagine taking directions in a magical forest from a big ball of fluff with wings. That's a lot of faith. See, we're good. We're good. We made it. All faith in the fluff ball, Morris.
Bloody hell. I think those birds are on fire. Really?
上车！哪来的？回哪去！
你误会了，请听我们说。
Yeah, I think they want you to turn around. Well, thank goodness at least one person's happy to see them, huh? They've been having a rough couple days.
I'm not a threat, just an entertainer. For me.
I hope he gets to live here after all this. He just gets to live in this delightful looking place.
We are the keepers of the Dark Gate, sworn to protect this realm and yours.
Our dad is coming here to open that gate. He thinks you're holding our mom there.
He says he can hear her asking for help.
So, is it the evil thing is taking her form or something?
She knew that one day you would find your way here and asked me to prepare something for your arrival.
Cool superhero outfits by chance? It looks like that's what it would be. Yep.
You are children of this family, and I welcome you home.
At least you did. Everyone else seemed very happy to stab them if they got any closer. I do love the kind of like wispy sound effects. Like the sound design for it all is sort of makes the moves feel more powerful, and even though they're like looks like a dance, it looks like it makes it feel like there's a power there. Or you can just blow the leaves around like this, and that makes you look magical. Sure saw that coming. Come on now. You could see her blowing the leaves around. So why isn't this gang taking their anger out on the dad? Like, what a petty move. Like, hey, your husband tried to destroy us, so we're gonna take you on. I hope she takes out at least 80% of them. She died, he gets angry, goes back to what he knew, take his revenge. It's all about how Shang Chi has to not revert to that. He has to step above it. Oh my god. Yeah, you know, just bring your son to work day, apparently.
When my dad sent me to find the man who killed my mom, I told you I couldn't go through with it. I lied.
That was pretty good. I wasn't expecting the movie to go down the path of him murdering someone and he's trying to get away from it. A bit weird that he just sort of said, I killed a guy when I was 14 and I felt really, really ashamed about it. To them him immediately going, yeah, when my dad gets here, I'm also going to kill him. Here we go.
Burn it down.
Big old fight. Big old Marvel fight coming right up. Shang, you're just using those old tricks, man. You've got to use that. You've got to use the wind. You've got to use that wind power.
You were there when they came for her, and you did nothing.
He was like 6, dude. What did you want him to do? Pull out like a Glock and just start shooting? Like, what did you want?
Even if you could bring her back, what makes you think she'd want anything to do with you?
Yeah, he might not have wanted to say that. Ooh. Well, that was a power play, that's for sure. I don't know how to feel about him, though, because he's clearly being manipulated. Like, he's being manipulated into this whole situation, but he wasn't the greatest guy before all this either, so he definitely feels more like a flawed human being rather than just Baddie McBaddisons, which is a good thing. Ew, what is that? Well, he's about to unleash hell, apparently.
We are the mighty Ten Rings!
Oh, what the hell? Did he just snatch up his soul? What was that?
We should work together.
Yeah, no shit. Well done. This is very Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a very Guardians of the Galaxy moment, this. Dragon! There it is! Oh, he's gonna burst out like a fucking boss. There he is! Oh my god, he's like a dragon rider. How to Train Your Dragon. Man, this movie's got everything.
You have to stop your father!
Yeah, take this dragon and take it over to the door. I'm sure they can handle all the bat things. Take those rings off and then we'll see how good this fight goes. Thank God for how good she is with that rope, and thank God that the rope seems to change lengths whenever it needs to. Oh, here we go. Yellow versus blue. Oh. Owies. I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but as good as the actual CG is in this fight, like the ring effects and stuff, I might have preferred it more if it was just like a normal grounded fight. But I know they've got to establish the rings, the power, like it's his superpower, all that kind of stuff. He has the power now! He stole your rings, bitch! He knew. Not to be like you grumpy old man. Oh, well, it let itself out. Don't worry. Damage is done. I mean, you kind of brought this on yourself, but at least you saved Shang. I mean, that's a lot of soul. He's been around a long time. Okay, let's have our MCU CGI big fight. Oh my god. As if. Come on now. I mean, it's a big target, to be fair, but come on. She picked up a bow today. Eat my rings, bitch. Well, that's a lot of mess. That's a lot of goo. Jesus. So many people died.
And then Shaun used the 10 rings to do this crazy Kamehameha fireball that exploded the thing. And you saved the world.
We lost some good people that day. But we made it.
We made it.
The comedy in this movie is so weird. It's so weird. Hey,
Shang
there he is.
Here, present.
Do you have the rings?
Yeah, yes.
Good. Let's go. We have a lot to talk about. You too.
You shoot a bow really good. We need you. We need you as well. Hawkeye wants some lessons. Off we go to be superheroes. See you next time. The end. Okay.
I'm not sure. They're not
Bruce.
vibranium. Chitauri?
Not like any alien tech I've seen.
Oh my god, they're all here.
How long did you...
They're sending a message.
A message to where?
Oh, big bad incoming. Big bad seeding in the big bad.
Guys, stay safe.
And why don't you look like Smart Hulk anymore? What's happened there? Did I miss something?
I'll get some rest.
Yeah, we probably should. Or...
Oh god. Karaoke? Yeah. She's just taking it over. So much for dismantling it. Will she use this for good or for evil, though? I suppose that is the question that is being posed. The 10 rings will return. They're coming back. Okay. Okay, that was Shang Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings. And you know, that was a That was a solid all right. I have a couple of criticisms with it, but I'll kick off with the things I did really enjoy. I liked that our main villain and antagonist, their father, was someone who felt like a flawed human being, opposed to just a absolute tyrant, which is like how he started. But it was nice that he started there, sort of came down to earth into this reality of love and a family, and then he loses all of that and then sort of doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where to go. He's never had to deal with anything like this before, and he just reverts back to what he knew, and in a way to try and comfort himself and his family, because that's all he knows how to do. And it sort of feels like it was a good performance by the actor, because it felt like it was sort of eating him up inside in a way. Like, he did these sort of subtle nuances throughout his performance to sort of hint at this isn't really what he wanted, but what he really did want was for his wife to be back. And as soon as that became a prospect, that was all he cared about. And obviously the whole manipulation element of the evil entity that lived behind that seal. So I really like that. I really like that our main antagonist had an interesting kind of development as the film went on. I really like some of the fights in this. Like, you know, I was expecting there to be some good sort of hand-to-hand combat scenes in this, and didn't disappoint. There were some really solid ones, although there are some distractions with some of them, but I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to highlight to start off with that there is some really good fight sequences in here, like some really nice performances from the people pulling off the moves, be it the actors in some cases, be it stunt performers, all of the above. Like, there was some really good stuff, and I really like the fights where, you know, it's choreographed in a way where the camera feels like it is naturally following the fight, and it just all flows naturally together. Obviously, the fight at the start, that felt like a dance mixed in with a fight. Like, obviously, people say like fight choreography is very akin to a dance, but in this, they took it in a very sort of literal sense, where it almost feels like ballroom dancing for some of it, but yet not losing the edge of that these people are fighting and testing each other and, you know, pushing each other in different directions and stuff like that. But good. I really enjoyed a lot of that stuff. But I have to say my favourite fights were the more simple ones. Even some of the ones that did have some flashiness going on. Like I say, the beginning one with the mother and the father when they first meet and their fight. There were some special effects there. There was some magical stuff going on. But it felt very natural within its own rules, right? It just like... it flowed really nicely. There was some good humor in it throughout. But yeah, that was good. And then I liked just the very basic two people fighting, let the camera show it and move with the fight. All that stuff I really liked. Some of the humor in here was really nice. Obviously, MCU movies are, you know, at this point very well known for being quippy, funny, having that levity in them. Some of the humor here was really good. Some of it not so much. Some of it felt a little forced, for lack of a better word, but there was a good deal of it I did enjoy. In particular, I loved seeing Ben Kingsley back and bringing that performance back. And like I said in the reaction, if it's there, like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Iron Man 3 for, you know, various different reasons. There was some stuff in it I did enjoy, but there was, you know, some stuff that didn't work for me. But I did really enjoy his performance in that movie, and I liked seeing it being picked up here. I liked that the film acknowledged Iron Man 3 in that way, because that's what you can do when all these movies take place in the same universe. And obviously this movie is addressing how the Ten Rings were like the fictional version and this is the real version, and how that all fits together. I liked all that. But yeah, it was just fun seeing Ben Kingsley back and giving a funny performance in this. And, you know, it's amazing that he basically comes in around halfway through the movie and he just completely wins me over straight away when he shows up. It's just fun. And he's got his little fuzzball pet, and that's all good and fun. I can only presume that he's living in that other dimensional village now, you know, living it up with his friend. You know, I hope he has a happy life over there. And then the story itself. I mean, the story itself is kind of a very traditional hero's journey, coming of age in some respects kind of story. It very much gave me a mixture of Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars vibes, in that, you know, you have a son and a daughter, siblings who are faced with their sort of parents' choices. And I mean, very Guardians of the Galaxy in that, you know, the mother passed away, and at a young age and under unfair circumstances, and that sort of calls back at the end when they find their hero within them, and that's what helps them push through. But then also like the sins of the father, again, very Guardians of the Galaxy with Ego. That's sort of very familiar here. Here's the thing, there's the whole thing of there's only so many stories you can tell. It's how you tell them that is different. I enjoyed this version of that story, but it did ring very familiar, especially given that the MCU has kind of already done something very similar in that, like I say, the mother dying, the sins of the father. At least in this, they made the father feel sympathetic, whereas in Guardians of the Galaxy, he was just villainous. He was just a bad guy who operated on a completely different plane of existence in his own mind, basically. So at least they changed it up there, that the father had his own flaws, and he was kind of wanting to work through them, but didn't know how, and was just driven by his sort of sadness and stuff. But that's also what gave me the kind of Star Wars vibes, because obviously, you know, siblings who were born to a mother and a father. One was pure, who died unfortunately. Father went on to do bad things, and then father finds redemption at the end when their son is in trouble and needs their help. And you know where I'm going with all this, but it's fine. You know, I mean, it's a story as old as time, basically, and you know, they did their rendition of it, and as I say, perfectly all right. It's fine. So the stuff that didn't work for me so much, I mean, I mentioned this a lot in the reaction. I'm sure people are going to hate me for it and nitpicking and all that, but some of the CGI, and I'll emphasize this as well, CGI houses, people who make these effects and stuff, have a tough time of it. They're under enormous pressure, normally massive time constraints, not enough money, not enough resources, all of that stuff, and they get no thanks for the hard work they put into it. But the inconsistent nature of the effects in this movie were just kind of startling and really took me out of it. Like, there were some sequences of CGI in this that looked really bad, and I don't want to point fingers at the artists who were trying to make those effects, because I'm sure it was a case of like they weren't given the time, money, whatever it was that they needed to make those effects work. But you know, it's more a case of pointing fingers that this is a movie being made by one of, if not the biggest movie studio in the world, with so much money that they could easily have helped those effects houses make those CGI sequences look better. That's what's frustrating about it, right? Especially when there's other CGI elements in here that look really good. Like, there's some CG in here that looks amazing, covering out wires, making scenes flow naturally to some of the bigger stuff, like all the kind of water effects that they were doing. The dragon looked pretty cool. The monsters were kind of half and half, like they were cool design. A lot of the CG worked for them, but also it did kind of look a little bit video gamey, for a lack of a better term. But then there were just flat out awful bits of CG, like it wasn't lit properly, completely just removed me from the sequence that was taking place. Like I say, I'm not a CGI expert, I don't know all the effort and work that goes into it. I just know that in terms of movie making, there is a unfair like balance in regards to how much money and credit that those people get for that stuff, and I don't want people to think I'm blaming them. I'm blaming how, I don't know, how it's managed, I suppose is the best way to say it, and then how it affects the final product, as it were. And there were clear examples where it's really quite bad in some instances, unfortunately. I alluded to this earlier, but as much as I did enjoy some of the comedy in this, there was some comedy in here that felt really forced. Like the moment where like Shang Chi is like telling his story to Katy about what happened when he was a teenager, and the air hostess just comes in with beef or no beef or vegetarian or whatever. That was so like jarring. Like, it just came out of nowhere, and I was like getting invested in the story, and then just like beef or vegetarian, what? And it's like this stupid joke that isn't even that funny. So like there were a few moments like that that were much like the CGI issue. It's just, it was humor played for humor's sake, not really to help the story or even the characters, really. It was just kind of there, and it kind of took me out of what was happening quite a lot in some instances. So, you know, it's not saying I don't like comedy in the movie, like MCU's too quippy. That's not what I'm saying at all. There was some stuff in here that worked really, really well. It was just, I felt there was a little too much in some segments, and there felt like there was a lot of, let's just improv it, see what goes on, see what happens. And and when that started to happening, I think that's where sort of my issues with it sort of came into play. It may seem like I'm being pretty down on this movie, but you know, generally I did enjoy it. It's a fun action movie with some good fight sequences, and it's just got a few like bits that I nitpick in fairness, and that or sort of took me out of it a little bit. But overall, it's a fun time. I'm happy I saw it, and you know, if you're into your MCU, if you like the Marvel movies, you know, watch it, find out for yourself, and you know, it's worth, because obviously at the end they do sort of tease some grander scheme at work and a new villain on the way by the sounds of it. So there's all that if that's what you're looking for. And I do have to say, I did kind of like that this was its own thing. Like, it didn't rely too heavily on the whole sort of MCU of it all. For like 99% of it, it was just its own standalone film. Like, Wong has a cameo about like halfway through or whatever it was. But if you had no idea who Wong was, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Like, he could just be a guy who has magical powers, and it's just kind of like introducing you to that element of the world. But otherwise, I liked that it was its own self-contained little story introducing these characters. So that was fun, and I think that was kind of the thing I enjoyed the most about the movie, honestly, was that it was its own little tale that it was telling with sort of bigger consequences that could have happened, but thankfully our hero found the hero within, as it were, and went with it and saved the day. So, you know, that's what good hero stories are all about, and it does a decent enough job at doing that, essentially. And yeah, that's what it is. So if you are into your superhero, if you're into your MCU and you haven't checked out this yet, I would recommend watching it for yourselves. If you're not so much into the Marvel movies and you just sort of dip in and out of them as a kind of casual fan, I would say, you know, just be warned. I don't know if all of it will work for you, but there are some good action sequences, and there's some fun stuff in there as well. So, you know, it's worth checking out for that. But that is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Thank you for watching this movie reaction, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up. It helps me know you liked it. It helps other people know you liked it. And maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos. But for right now, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.